find what has been lost. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Do you remain steadfast, or do you give in to temptation?
Hi, everyone. We're here. It's time to begin. We're back at Cult Divinity Lost Downfall. I usually prefer giving the recap over to one of the players so that I have an idea of what you all took away from it. Our last session, that is. So does anybody want to jump in and give us and our wonderful viewers a recap of what happened? All of the awful, horrible things that we experienced and learned about our good friend Noah, and about ourselves too, because it's not just about exploring Noah's descent into madness, but our own. Anybody want to jump in?
Sure, I will. We discovered that our mutual friend Noah disappeared about a month ago, and everyone's very worried about him for their own reasons, apparently. He was last seen in the company of a tall, beautiful woman that he had met at a party of ill repute. And we also know that there have been a lot of changes in his personality as he has begun to explore his sexuality and possibly his gender identity as well. However, we also have reason to believe that he is infected with a strange venereal disease that causes these angry red spiral-like veins to erupt over people's bodies. And when we last left off, I believe we had either just gotten to or were just leaving the sex shop where one of the clues had led us. What could be going on, I wonder? I'm telling you this is so many things, and it definitely feels like there is some sort of like strange eyed wide shut a la Hellraiser kind of thing going on here. But we shall see.
Yeah. And just the last thing to add on, because all of that was spot on, you guys had made the decision to head to another party to see if you could find some more leads afterwards. So that would be where you guys are intending to go next. Whether or not you still want to look around the sex shop is up to you guys right now, but our dear Dami Granny had given you a bit of information about where to go thus far.
Yes, and what was that? They'd given us the address of
a delivery location.
A delivery location, that's right.
Noah had provided a address that was not to his dormitory, but to another house within the campus town dormitory buildings, and so this was a totally different area and a place to look. She had also indicated that She indicated that he had fallen into what she, quote unquote, in air quotes, called the sub frenzy, as it's known on the kink scene. And it happens when a person who is very new to BDSM becomes very excited after the initial experience and seeks to replicate it with very little protection or self-preservation. The frenzy also seems similar to the onset of an addiction. And Miss Madam Crabapple, as we will call her from now on, seemed quite in the know of all of this. Before we truly begin, because I am the most professional of DMs, our dear Sphinx had a roll that needed to be made last session that we didn't get to. So we're going to take care of it today. And so, Sphinx, if you would be so kind, I need you to roll me something. And I'm just going to pull your sheet up here for a sec. Let me find where I left you. There we go. So if you could please roll me just the 2d10 plus 0. So you don't have anything going on for additionals. We're just going to see if anything fun comes up today. Oh, fantastic. All right. So Dido has definitely jinxed you from the onset, because she said we would just see the dice go in a downward spiral from here on. And there it is, our first roll of the night. So let's see here. I'm going to make a note of what I need to remember for that roll, because it is a good one, and it is fantastic to see that I get to use this ammunition. All right, so on a 9 or less, I get to take 3 holds. Holds for me are basically how I make moves against you all in the storytelling. I, of course, don't have any rolls to make, but once I've accumulated this resource, holds, I can use it to start making things a little more difficult for you all, have situations arise where complications or threats will appear. So I have 3 to add to my pool now, because the professor has something that he's not telling anyone about that may rear its ugly head soon. So we find ourselves back in the sex shop. You all have had a chance to speak with Madam Crabapple, and she has given you the information you need, and the information is, of course, quite unpleasant for most. And does anybody want to stick around to browse, peruse, ask anybody else for any information, or are we good to taxi on over to the next spot?
I'm good.
I don't think Ashlin wants to spend too much time here.
I don't think there's anything else I would need to know.
Okay. Dear Norah, any adverse reactions to finding out any of this information?
She's just been very quiet and hasn't been, like, she's just sort of looking at the ground, having averted her gaze, like not wanting to see the kind of place that she's in, having followed her brother, so.
Also, we'll rewind for just a moment and give everyone a chance to introduce themselves, because I forgot about that. It's okay. We're all professionals here, so we'll get it right. Let's do it live. Why don't we do just like we did last time? We will go counterclockwise, and then we will go clockwise on the outros. So starting up at the top left, that is our wonderful Dido.
Yeah, hello guys. I am Dido. I'm playing Ashlin, the girlfriend who found out a lot of interesting things about her boyfriend, as everybody likes to remind her, ex-boyfriend. And everybody keeps telling her it was a bad breakup, that she is unaware of.
And then right on down to our good friend Sphinx.
Hey, I'm Sphinx. I'm playing Professor Delvin Cole, and I'm just the teacher trying to find a student.
And then straight on across over to Captain Jack.
Hi, everybody. I'm Count Jacula, and I am playing Ezekiel, a Slavic foreign student who seems to know a lot more about the libertine underworld and is a friend of our dearly missing Noah, who seems to know a bit more than he's letting on.
And last but never least, the wonderful Scribs.
Hi guys, I am Scribbles, and tonight I am playing Norah, the twin sister of the missing Noah. And she just wants to find her brother because she's a very good sister and misses him deeply. And that's it.
I am sure there is nothing else untoward about that.
I don't even know who you are, Ezekiel.
But we're gonna find out.
One way or another.
Yep. All right. So with the decision to head out, a lot of taxis being used today as you all hail a new cab and give off the address to this new party. It's going into the evening now, so this is right around the time the college area starts doing their parties. And anybody who's been to a college party usually knows that in the dorm areas that are sectioned off for these colleges, it's usually not just one party, but several parties and people who like to party hop. And so the college kids are out and about, wandering from building to building, seeing what parties they can get into, who they can mingle with, who they can meet. But you all go to check out this location, and the music and the lights all indicate that this is one of the places to be, and the crowd outside kind of reinforces that there are a lot of people wanting to get in here. And as the four of you start to approach, you realize that they're not really preventing you from getting in. It's more that the crowd is kind of partying and making room for you to slip your way inside of the building. The area that this party is happening is somebody's larger apartment, and it's a spacious room that is bathed in vibrant light from the colored bulbs that hang overhead. Heated bodies grind against one another in a musical trance, and a projector displays snapshots of kissing couples, naked people, and BDSM gear on a screen behind a DJ. The DJ themselves kind of has a look that is reminiscent of Deadmau5, but instead it has like an animatronic fox head instead. Its ears move to the rhythm of the music, and it shifts in colored lights. It has a little muzzle that pops out, and it's got fangs on it. And as you guys are moving through the crowd, you can feel people reaching out to try and coax you into joining them for a dance, or reaching out and grabbing an inappropriate touch here and there. Even Zeke and the good professor aren't free of this hands and curious reaches. But before you guys move on to the next room, if you so choose to keep looking for any signs of Noah, a picture changes and you all have to double take. You look and you swear that the man that's gagged in the previous photograph looked like Noah. And as you look, you realize it might have been somebody familiar or similar, but no, it definitely wasn't him. Perhaps. Maybe. It moved on too quickly.
I'm guessing that the DJ has like a laptop, or does Nora see something up there that could be controlling like the projections?
He's got a fold out table where he's got his soundboard, his laptop, and all of that, and he's got like the little fake turntable where he can start messing with stuff. But his laptop is in clear view; it's directly in front of him, and that's where he's doing the majority of his work. There are also tables scattered around everywhere that has the red solo cups of nondescript alcohol, usually mixed with other things, and you're not really sure what's in it, but they have the various colors and vibrancies, and people seem to just be kind of grabbing and going. There are also the spots where people are making out or dancing or disappearing to corners to do various other unmentionable things, but there is a clear shot to the DJ table, Nora, if you want to start heading that way.
So Nora sort of tries to shout over the sound of the music towards Ashlin. I'm just going to go up to the DJ real quick. I need to check out something.
I grab a hold of like the bottom of her t-shirt so that I don't lose her to follow her.
Yeah.
And I'll
on her
tap
way.
either
Oh, go ahead.
Zeke or the professor and point in the direction that we're going.
Cool. Nora's like gonna grab one of the red cups, like down it really fast, and then like beeline towards this DJ.
Absolutely. Is anybody else grabbing something to drink? What are our two gentlemen doing as the two ladies start shifting that way?
Does this party have
Asher grab a drink.
Does this party have a designated bartender, or is it just a free-for-all?
There is actually a bartender too. There's a mention of him in here. Let me find it. But yes, there is a kitchen area, and there is a designated bartender. You see a large, muscular-looking jock type. He's got his fraternity letters emblazoned across a tank top, very much like your own, Jack. But his is purple, and it's got the white lettering, the Greek alphabet on there. And he's probably if anybody who knows their Greek schooling, it's probably nonsense for the sake of it, but for the sake of what's going on here, it spells out "I felt a thigh" as a convenient, funny joke for them. But then underneath it has his actual, Greek one on there. But he is the bartender right now, and he seems to be mixing more of these solo cups and just kind of setting them out for his lackeys to go bring out to the other tables.
Okay. I head over there.
All right, and the good professor?
Yeah, he seems almost like he doesn't even notice the party. He's like, he doesn't notice the people that were grabbing for him, and almost like he's lost in thought a bit. I'm just rubbing his eyes as he's just standing there.
Okay.
But he just
So the two
notes everyone
go ahead,
walking off. But he just notes everybody like going where they're going, just keeping track of them.
Right. So the professor decides to hang back and have a more watchful gaze of the three of you as two head towards the DJ table and Ezekiel heads off towards the bar. We'll start first with the two ladies as you move through the crowd. The bodies don't block or bar your way, but there is still just the occasional bump, the occasional grind. A few eager hands try and pull you in towards them, but you're able to stay the course and keep moving until you reach the front of the table where the DJ is.
Are you in charge of this slideshow?
And the DJ, he's bobbing, enjoying the music, and he goes, "What?"
Can you take your headphone off, maybe? Are you in charge of the slideshow?
"Oh, yeah, the show? Yeah, it's great, isn't it?"
Headphones off for a second.
He lifts them up and he pulls his headphones off, and he lifts the whole like animatronic headset off and kind of sets it off to the side. And you see that there is a rather skinny, nerdy looking individual, thick bottle cap glasses. And he just says, "Lady, you're killing my my image here, making me take my mask off. What can I do for you?"
I just said the headphones. You don't have to take the mask off.
"Oh, it's all part of the whole thing."
I'm sure nobody's going to notice. I was just wondering if you were in charge of the slideshow that's playing behind you.
"Oh," and he passes to one image, or he points up, and as he points, the image depicts a more orgiastic scene of a woman that kind of looks like Norah at that moment, surrounded by several eager men. And he says, "Oh, yeah, this is from my own personal collection."
Your own
Personal?
Did you take these?
No, not that kind of personal. No, it's just what I've kind of gathered off the internet. But people really seem to like it. The music gets them all fired up, so having some visual stimuli also really helps.
These, all of them were you got off the internet?
I mean, yeah, and there are some people who will go to my website or submit their own pictures to get circulated. Some people want to be famous.
What? She's like at a loss for words for a moment, trying to like wrap her head around like, did Noah submit a picture? Does Noah have these on the website? Like, the one that was like depicting like the orgy was someone that looked vaguely like her. Was that one that was submitted, or did you find that one?
That one was submitted. Yeah.
And then there was another picture, a couple ones back of
He just kind of
boy
reaches back, he pushes the back key, and it starts filtering through some pictures, and each one seems just as bad as the one before it. There's a couple of roped suspensions with some shibari. There's several of girl on girl, some guy on guy, some. There's a quick one that has a donkey that we won't go into detail, but then he cuts back and there's the one up on screen that has the redhead with the ball gag in his mouth on his knees in front of the camera, and he holds it and he's like, "This one?"
Yeah.
And it's on full display for the whole crowd to look at. He's like, "That one?"
Yep, that one. Submitted, or did you find it? And then
Submitted.
You it.
Oh, sure. And he puts the auto scroll back on. Oh, yeah, that one was submitted. Apparently it was a local.
Was it? No. Did it? Or was it just someone who kind of looked like him?
Let me have a roll from both of you, please. What I'm going to have is a... Where is it? Thank you. See through the illusion.
See through the illusion.
Mm-hmm. Good job,
Sorry.
Dido. You're good.
Sounds on brand.
Yeah. Let's just see it continue wonderfully. Success with complications. Interesting.
Complications.
Complications.
Why do things have to be so complicated?
I
I
know.
lost my cheat sheet. I'm just pulling it up here real quick. There we go. So, seeing through the illusion, what we get is now. See, it says I get to have fun with the ones that are under 9, but yours says success with complications. Okay, I know what I could do with this. Perfect. Norah, when you're looking at when you had that chance to look at the picture and you really focused on it to see if it was your twin brother, the shot itself is a shot of this person. They're kind of looking up at the camera with that drunken, submissive haze over their eyes. But as you're really focusing and trying to determine if this is Noah or not, you see the eyes move, and the glossy, glazed over expression shifts to one keenly focused, and it's looking right back at you. Ashlin, you see somebody that looks not at all like Noah. It is a redhead, it is male, but there are distinct features about their naked body that isn't Noah. There's a birthmark that wasn't there on the shoulder, things like that. There are keen, intimate details that you know that aren't there.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, it's not him. Wasn't him in the picture?
Nora's quiet and just staring at the screen, like trying not to blink.
It definitely is him, Norah.
Ash, why would you say that's not Noah?
Because you see that birthmark on his shoulder? He doesn't have one of those. And I point out a couple of other.
Nora just rolls her eyes. I know my brother, and that's him.
I don't see it.
Maybe you guys weren't as close.
I mean, except
as
for
you
the
thought.
red hair. I have seen him naked quite a few times.
Nora's like going to take a step to the left and is like still staring at this picture. Unless it's gone.
You guys had asked for him to keep it moving.
It's true,
But but the image is still clearly burned into your mind, and you can't shake an image like that. That's a detail of your brother you probably didn't want or expect to see. Or, maybe it's something about him that you learned, and it might invoke some strange feelings. But for now, Norah, you're off to the side, and the pictures continue to move on. And the DJ is kind of looking at the two of you, and he finally says, "So, is there anything else I can help with, or?"
When were these pictures submitted?
This one, the one you were looking at or interested in, I think I got that one added into the rotation about 3 weeks ago.
Was it signed? Do you have an email? Do you do some sort of disclosure?
Everything's anonymously submitted.
She like glances over at Ashlyn briefly, and then
Do you have
we'll
do you
just
have
like
any more of the guy from that picture, the redhead?
I mean, maybe. He reaches over and he clicks a button, and the display on the projector turns off. It goes black and just kind of has a generic wall saver bouncing around of his logo. And he just says, you guys are welcome to kind of thumb through it, but there's a lot in there.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, sure. Come on over. It's no problem at all. And he looks at Ashlyn and he's like, do you have a drink? Did you want a drink while you do that?
I hold up my red solo cup that I picked up on the way over here.
Cool. And you're good too? Looks at Norah.
I could probably use another drink.
Excellent. I'll be right back. Just don't mess with anything other than looking at the gallery there, and I'll be right back. And he disappears into the crowd. As he disappears into the crowd, leaving the two of you the chance to look at the laptop, we'll cut over to dear Professor Cole, who has been keeping an eagle eye on everyone around him. Professor, you see that the people, the students, your charges in this academic world, as they're dancing and grinding and fraternizing with one another, you start to see the veneer kind of peel away. There's an odor on the wind that mixes with the sweat and the passion. It smells a little more like decay mixed with cherry blossoms. And as that scent hits, there's just the gentle thong thong of an Asian guitar, and a voice against your ear says, Delvin, why don't you come dance with me? It's been so long since you and I have played together. And you see a young Japanese woman who's standing in front of you now. Her hair is up. A pair of chopsticks are holding them in place, and each chopstick is capped with like the ends of it are carved into skulls. And you recognize this woman. You've seen her before in your youth. You've pushed it down, but here she is looking like a college student. And she says, come dance with me, Delvin.
He seems almost in a trance. It's like he's struggling to remember the name. And he just follows her lead as he takes
Would you
off
like to try to... Oh, go ahead.
He's feeling stuffy, so he takes off his blazer as he reaches for a hand.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to try and remember the name?
I think he's scared too.
Okay. Roll me keep it together then, since this is fear instead of trying to recall. All right, success with complications. Those are the best. So when we try and keep it together on a 10 to 14, the effort to resist instills a condition which remains with you until you have had time to recuperate. There's a -1 in situations where this condition would be a hindrance. So there is going to be an emotional condition inflicted on you, and there's a list here that you can choose from. You can become angry, you can become sad, you can become scared, which seems like the obvious one since you already stated that feeling. You can become guilt-ridden, or you could become obsessed, excuse me, or you could become distracted. If you take angry, sad, scared, or guilt-ridden, your stability will be reduced by 1. If you choose to become obsessed, you'll gain a +1 when interacting with the object that caused this condition to you. If you become distracted, you'll have a -2 in all situations other than interacting with this entity.
Yeah, I think his fear does turn to guilt.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He'll just...
And so go ahead and finish, please.
Oh no, I was just saying his fear turns to guilt a bit as he slowly follows her lead.
Mm-hmm. And so you take the hand and she leads you out onto the dance floor. Your blazer unceremoniously just discarded to the floor from where you had been standing. And as she takes you out onto the floor, she takes the lead in the dance. And it's exotic, it's alluring, and as the two of your bodies mingle and intertwine, you have those memories coming back. You think back to what had happened those years ago. Another was with you the last time you had interacted with this woman. Their face is obscured by the haze of memory, but you remember that they danced this dance once, and you had watched. You had watched as the dance had progressed beyond merely dancing and had become something more carnal. And as more and more people gathered around the two of them as they danced, you started to notice that the scene wasn't natural or normal. And you called out to their name. It echoes deafeningly in your ears. You can't remember what the name you called was, but as you watch them progress down this depravity, there was a chance for you to escape, and you remember running. And then you just remember moving on with your life. It was like nothing had ever happened to you. And when the music stops, she's standing in front of you with a smile, and she says, "Thank you, Delvin. I haven't had a wonderful dance like that in so long. I'm very pleased for now, but I will be back to see you soon. You have a promise to keep after all, Delvin."
And almost kind of like remembering himself younger, he'll give a smile, a nod, kiss her hand as he kind of lets her go.
and she bows politely and then seems to just meld into the crowd, leaving the good professor standing in the center of it. We'll transition the camera over to our good friend Ezekiel, who has moved over to the bar. Ezekiel, you see that this jock is busy pouring, just free pouring bottles into a large mixing bowl. And as he's just adding stronger and stronger flavors and mixtures, there's just a quick stir before he grabs the ladle, fills up a couple of the solo cups, and he hands one off to you and he says, "Sup, brah?"
It's like, hello, brah. Wondering if you have seen this guy. And I show a picture of Noah.
He kind of leans in, lifts up the sunglasses that, of course, he's wearing indoors. He says, "Huh. Yeah, I recognize that dude. Real slut. Total gangbang material."
Oh, yeah. Da. Have you seen him here today?
Today?
Yeah.
I mean, not really. I wasn't looking. Not really my speed. Into chicks, you know how it is. But might be in the back. There are back rooms dedicated, to the fuck parties.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. I'll just take one.
Yep. Says, "Cool, killer, enjoy."
Head off in the direction of the back rooms.
Mm-hmm. Heading off into the back rooms. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay. Please make me a see through the illusion as well. This is a detail I should have seen sooner, but I'll see if you catch it as he hands you the drink.
All right, see through the illusion. That's soul?
Yep.
That'd be a 9.
9. I love everybody's rolls today. Okay, so when you go to reach for the solo cup that he's holding in hand, you notice that there is a rusty hook that is pierced through the palm of his hand, and the blood looks fairly fresh. And as he reaches out with the solo cup, the blood from the hook drips down into the mixing bowl. And he is completely oblivious to it, and he just hands over the cup to you. The sticky, almost coagulating blood on it draws away from his hands in little tendrils before it's in your hand now. And he says, "Drink up, bro." And he grabs his own cup and clanks it.
Might want to get that looked at.
"What's that?"
Your hand.
He holds up his hand, and it seems like for the first moment he's realizing that there's a hook through it. And he goes, "Oh, yeah. No, dude, it's totally cool. This is like the newest thing. Everybody's into it. You've never heard of a self-mutilation?"
I have. Not so much. You have fun with that.
"Yeah, no worries, man. This one's pretty cool." He's just kind of like flexing for a moment, and like more of it drips out and lands into the punch bowl again. He says, "Nah, it's cool. After a while, you stop feeling it, and the pain is a real rush when they first jam it in there."
No doubt, but I think you're dripping into the punch. That cannot be sanitary.
"Nah, man, it's cool. Nobody's complained about it yet." Doesn't alcohol
Okay.
sanitize that?
No. wrong kind of alcohol.
Oh, should I go get some of that?
I think you need a Band-Aid, is what you need, my friend.
Huh, yeah, I think you're right. And he just kind of looks over to one of the pledges and he goes, medic! And then a pledge who's just in almost stained yellow tidy whities and the words pledged scribbled in what's the word? Cheese whiz across his chest, comes running up holding an old medic, a first aid box, and he hands it over and he goes, Band-Aid. And they take out a little Dora the Explorer Band-Aid and they slap it over the wound that doesn't cover much of it. And then they lean in and they give it a kiss, and the blood is on their lips now as they lean back. And he goes, that's a good pledge. Get going. Better?
Da.
All right.
And I head for the back area.
Yep. Cool. See you, bro.
You know, and as I'm like, yeah, you know, get rid of that, not drinking that. Head towards the back area and start looking in. Not just like, not kicking doors down, but definitely like open, again. This is our guy here. Not that one. Okay, move on to the next one.
And as you're moving through the rooms, you're peeking in and you're seeing, you know, just it starts out light. There's, you know, the couple that's having sex in one bed. There's another couple that had opted to take the floor. There's another up against the wall. You move to the next room. This group of people have just decided to have an orgy because they didn't feel the need to separate themselves. And it keeps getting more and more as you go. And by the third room, it's a group of young women, and they notice you peeking in, and one of them looks up and she gestures with a finger for you to come in, maybe join them.
Maybe later. I want to at least give the party a good once over before doing any extracurricular activity.
Exactly, yeah. You move to the last room in the back of this house, and this seems to be where the more BDSM catered kinks are. There's a woman in full dominatrix gear, the leather corset, stockings, boots that rise well up past her thighs. She's got a black mask on, and she has a cat of nine tails whip. The barbed ends of it glow in the light with a crimson color, and there are two largely muscular jocks that are seated on their knees in front of her, facing away, and she's just, "You're bad boys, aren't you?" And she smacks one of them with the whip, and he squeals like a delighted piggy. And she takes notice of you, Ezekiel, and she says, "Hi, Zeke." And you recognize her as just a random classmate.
Oh, and I go like, "Oh, hey, I see you're doing something, but I need to ask a question. Have you seen Noah?"
Lately? Today? No. And she
Well,
cracks the whip again on the second jock, and he grunts out in pain, but seems to be holding. Not today, no.
he was also, everyone also keeps saying that he's being seen with this tall woman. Was that you?
No. Can't say that I'm... No, not me, but flattering that you think I'm tall and beautiful.
Oh, I must, my Slavic
There's room
lips
for
speak
one
only
more,
truth.
Zeke.
Pravda. Um. Do not think I would mix well with the current herd you have here. Not quite to
No,
my
I
taste.
think you would. I think you'd fit between them just nicely. Isn't that right? And the two of them look at each other and they nod quickly. Yeah, come join us, brah.
Okay, and on that, I leave. that bra was that was the step two. I was like, well, bra. Oh no, forget it. No.
Yeah. The two jocks
Okay.
clearly look out of place for this scenario, but they seem to be into it right now. But at that point, Ezekiel's like, nope, I'm out. No frat bras for. Yep. And so Ezekiel heads out. Does he head back out onto the floor now that he's done his due diligence?
No, he heads back to the room where the one woman
where the girls were piled up.
Yeah.
Do you go to join them?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So go ahead and give me a. It's not an endure energy, but I just want a fortitude roll from you, please, for obvious reasons. Although I could argue coolness too, because it's acting under pressure. Wink. Whatever's better.
Either one will. They're the same, actually.
Okay.
So that would be 8.
Scribbles, do any of them have rerolls from last game that carried over?
I don't think so. I think with the 20 retweets, it resets each time. So...
All right. Let's see. We are nowhere near the retweet goal, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to go with the 8th. Yeah. If you guys can turn out 6 retweets before I finish, I might be able to give Zeke a reroll before he finishes. But I don't think it's likely, so we'll move it along here. You said an 8, so let's see. We'll do the coolness, since you said they're both the same. An 8 is bad. Okay. Zeke, you are not on top of your game tonight.
Oh.
There's a lot of good reasons for Zeke to be distracted. Maybe it's the fact that the frat boy was leaking into the punch bowl that kind of killed your mood. Maybe it's the fact that once you got closer to these women, you started to notice that underneath all of the makeup, there are details about them that seem less flattering. One takes off a wig to reveal that she had been losing a good amount of hair, and what was there was thinning and gray. Another of the 3 women was missing teeth in various places, and kissing her left a taste of pus and decay. And, well, you just couldn't keep it up for very long, Zeke, as much as you tried. And so it was a very unsatisfying endeavor for you. And then we cut back to the other ladies, safely away from this. The laptop had been left open for the 2 of you to explore as the DJ wandered off to get something to drink. And Norah, and poor Ashlin for that matter, the 2 of you had drank from this alcoholic concoction. So why don't I get a roll from you 2? Please roll me a fortitude. Dido, you jinx yourself.
You know,
All right. Oh, fantastic. All right. So that is great. Let's go ahead and add to that fun. Y'all are doing so good tonight.
We're seeing.
Yeah, y'all are doing so great tonight. I just want you to know.
It's cold.
Let's see here. It's cold.
Bad things are bound to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got 3 options here for the both of you to choose. And I'm sure we're going to avoid one of them. You are knocked out. The GM may also choose to inflict a serious wound on you. You receive a critical wound, but maybe continue to act. If you already have a critical wound, you may not choose this option again. Or option 3, you die. It's like, tough choice. I guess I'll die.
I'm done.
Some would escape.
It's like I don't know what to do with my life anymore.
For your
Except
question
in KULT,
there,
death
your
is only the
stability.
beginning.
Yeah, death is only the beginning. Your stability went down by 1, Professor. So you just keep ticking down your stability box because every level has a worse and worse thing that happens as it continues on. Okay.
Would my survival instinct kick in since I'm probably going to be taking a serious or critical injury / wound?
I would say so. The two of you basically, the stupid amount of alcohol that had been mixed into this is largely overriding it. So it's initially feeling like your gut just got hit by a really strong alcoholic beverage, and the buzz of it is creeping up quickly. And then everything starts to feel cloudy and hazy, almost like there had been a roofie slipped into your cups, but these cups had been left out. So you can't really place what it is, but it's that similar effect of your drink had been spiked, and that's where this inflict injury is coming from. But yes, I would say your fight or flight could kick in as you're starting to feel something wrong is happening, but it's still happening.
I almost feel like
Norah.
Norah.
Yeah. And so just for, if you take the critical one, the -1 ongoing from the critical or from the serious wound carries over, so it would just be a -2 to reflect it. If you take the serious injury, then it's just the -1.
I'm going to take the serious.
I'm going to take the serious. And what is Norah taking?
I was thinking she would just pass out.
Okay, so both of you are going to pass out and take the serious. For the serious injury, I can choose to give you a serious injury, but the thing that happens is you pass out.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Ashlin would probably pass that.
Okay. So, Dido, I saw you had added on the serious injury. You don't have to put that on there now. I'm not going to injure you guys in this. However, what that means is the two of you don't get very far in looking at the laptop's contents. You do manage to find one more picture before the need to go sit down takes over. But the picture you end up seeing is another picture of Noah, but the described woman that had been seen with him is not with him, but she's in the background of the shot. You can kind of place her among the crowd because she's an exceptionally beautiful woman, unnaturally so. It seems like if there was like the Renaissance pictures of, you know, the common people and then the angel in the background, there's just the way that she's painted shines out more than the crowded people that are gathered around Noah in this depraved position that he's in currently, which is tied up and suspended upside down from the ceiling with various clamps and a ring gag in his mouth. It's another unflattering picture of him, or very flattering depending on how you choose to view it. But the two of you go to sit down and kind of clear your heads from this revelation and the strange feeling of the alcohol. And then everything goes black. Professor, your dance has ended, and you're left in the middle of the dance floor to kind of process what had happened. You don't remember how long has passed since then, but you realize that you no longer have an eye on any of the three that you had been keeping an eye on. The girls are no longer at the DJ booth. He's actually back with his mask on, playing the music, having just accepted that the girls had found what they were looking for and moved on. Zeke is nowhere to be found. He's not by the kitchen where the jock is continuing to mix and pour. And you realize that your blazer had found its way from the floor to a coat rack and is now dutifully hanging there waiting for you to get back. What's your first move once you realize that you've lost track of everyone?
I think he heads straight to the DJ booth because the girls were the last ones he saw before he got and he walked up and asked the DJ about where they went.
The DJ pops his like mask open, and he's like, "Oh, Professor Cole, hey, didn't expect to see you here. There were two hot chicks that were here not too long ago. They wanted to look at some weird pictures of this guy, and then they went over that way." And he gestures over to a couch, and Norah is passed out, leaned back against the couch, and there are a couple of other students who have migrated to the couch as well, and they seem to be mulling over the idea of what they want to do with this passed out girl. Ashlin, however, is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, he headed straight over there, like, because of his heightened emotion, he's just barreling his way over there. He's not even caring who he runs into.
Also, I'm going to make a note to everybody. We hit the 20 retweets. Unfortunately for Ezekiel, just a little late. Sorry. But everybody does have a reroll.
For my pride,
yeah,
my sexual prowess, not so much.
There's a chance to make up for it. Don't worry.
He just barreled his way.
So yeah, everybody has that reroll. Sorry, go ahead.
He just pushed his way through those dudes, like just pushed them out of the way and try to check on how Norah's doing. Like, he doesn't even acknowledge them, he just bats them out of the way.
Yeah. As you approach Norah, who is passed out against the couch, one of these other party goers has started to make their hand underneath her shirt, and another is going, "Go on, dude, she's not awake, she's not going to remember any of it." And then the good professor steps in, and he gives that look like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And the hand is immediately back out, and they're like, "We're not doing anything, Professor, we were just making sure she's okay."
Go. Now.
They nod. Please give me a influence other roll. Oh, yeah. Nice. So, Professor, these two are on their feet immediately when you shout now. And they're like, absolutely, we definitely weren't doing anything. And they nod. They're mumbling apologies as they get up and they quickly shuffle away. But there is Norah, safe and sound now with your intervention. But she seems to be just blackout drunk.
Yeah, we're gonna try to wake her up. And if he can't, he'll, I guess, try to move her. Or sit her upright.
Yep. You sit her upright into a seated position and you shake her awake. And before that happens, Norah, you're asleep, which means we get to make another fun roll for you. Because, of course, sleep brings on the fun. And I need to pull up your sheets so that I see what it is. Unless you can tell me, what are we rolling for your dreams?
Ooh, good question. I need to bring it up too.
Okay, that's one.
See who could find it quick.
I got your sheets open. So here we go. Yep. Oh, it's a +0. Great. Oh no, sorry, plus soul, because you have two of them. But this is just for you dreaming. Would you like to use your reroll already?
That might be a good idea. Let's try
It might be, yeah. Okay, go ahead and reroll. Let's see if we can get it better. Okay.
Hey. Oh wait, that was endurance. I made the wrong one.
We'll keep the numbers though. It's 4 and a 10. What is your plus on that one? It's
1.
soul. So actually, it's the same, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same number.
Whew.
Which okay.
There we go.
You sleep in peace. You don't remember passing out. You have no recollection of anything that happened from when you and Ashlin sat down to here. But you wake up to see the professor is standing over you, trying to shake you awake. You do feel like you had a good bit of rest, though.
Perfect. She's like suddenly wide awake. Professor?
You all right?
I'm fine. I don't remember falling asleep. Sorry.
Where's Ashlin?
She looks around as though Ashlin's supposed to be sitting right next to her. She was just right here a minute ago. Maybe she went to the bathroom, and Nora's like gonna try and stand up to like start moving around to find Ashlin.
Help her to her feet.
Yep.
So like lean against him.
You still feel very buzzed from this. The room spins just slightly enough that you have to use the professor for balance. You do notice that he's not wearing his telltale blazer, though. And he does look like he had a bit of sweat from the exertion of dancing as well. You remember that he had just opted to stay and observe.
Well, it seems like you're enjoying this party a little bit, Professor.
Seems we all are.
I knew there was a reason that Noah liked you. Professor knows how to
That's
let
fine.
loose.
It's fine, Ashley.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. She's like on her tiptoes, trying to look around, but still like holding on to the professor.
You'll continue to help her walk.
Yep. The two of you move around, and you see no sign of Ashlyn on the dance floor or in the kitchen where the jock had been serving his drinks. Um, it's at this moment that the two of you notice what Ezekiel had seen, that his hands have rusted hooks driven through them, and while he has a Dora the Explorer band-aid on the palm on the inside, it's doing very little to stop the dripping of his precious lifeblood into the mixture. It has actually completely soaked over, and he just kind of gives the two of you a raised solo cup salute as he pours more of this from the ladle into it and then passes it off to one of the pledges to go run out to the tables.
And that's why you don't take random drinks from people at parties.
Oh God. She's like looking between the two, like connecting the dots. And it's just like,
And you see
oh, God.
that he ran right to the table where you guys had picked up your drinks and sets it down to fill in one of the gaps. None of the other students seem bothered by this. There are tons of people drinking.
Oh man, I had like 2 cups of that. I'm gonna be sick. She's like, oh gosh.
We gotta.
It's gonna
You'll walk
throw
up
up
to
on the
the.
professor's shoes.
It's right onto the shoes.
Right? That's what happens at every college party.
Uh-huh. Professor, do you hold her hair back for her? As she vomits on your
Hey.
shoes. Just
He surprisingly moves pretty quickly. She's vomiting on the floor.
I'm good with that. The professor, he's used to this. He's old enough to know when he needs to sidestep and when he needs to catch somebody. But this is the moment where he steps to the side and she unloads her stomach onto the floor of this party, and there are a number of partygoers who lift their cups into the air and cheer at the sight of her losing her contents.
Yeah, he like as she starts puking, he'll hook his hand like underneath her stomach to keep her from falling to the ground.
Sounds like he's done this before. Yeah, she just like wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. Oh my gosh, we have to tell Ashlyn she had like 2 cups of this.
You have to find her first. Have you seen Zeke?
At the mention of "Have you seen Zeke?" you see Zeke creeping his way out of one of the back rooms, probably shoes and pants on, shirt in hand, as he's trying to look very nondescript or not guilty as he walks out, probably feeling a little down on himself. Wasn't his best game, and he knows it. You're muted.
You're muted.
Do I see them?
You would see Norah puking on the floor and the good professor a very close proximity. The cheers of the partygoers is definitely what alerted you to their presence. They weren't cheering for you.
I put my shirt back on and walk over. Like, oof. I see you had the punch. Where is, I'm a little over this scene. Where is Ashlyn?
That's who we're trying to find.
We just sat down on the couch and I fell asleep, and I don't know, maybe she didn't fall asleep, but oh God, we need to go find her.
Let me handle that. You sit here and collect yourself. And
No.
I go and I look for Ashlin. No?
She's like gonna follow him.
I
I will help you find Ashley.
I look at the professor and I'm like,
You're not in condition to follow just yet. And he'll take a handkerchief out of his pocket and hand it to her.
She'll take, but still, like, she's still buzzed and like has that confidence of a drunk person that shouldn't be there. And she just like looks at Zeke. I don't trust you. And Ashlyn needs to be safe.
you wound me.
But she like leans in closer. But maybe not too safe. Maybe it's fine if she just disappears. Right?
Why? What makes you say that?
God, she's not good enough for Noah.
Well, she doesn't seem to know him very well, does she?
No. So maybe you just go look for Ashlyn.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Game. Picking up what is being put down. All right.
She's probably not as quiet as she thinks she's being.
At that point, although when I leave, I actually do try to find Ashlyn.
Okay, good to know. You double back to all of the rooms where certain things are happening, with them telling you that they didn't see her on the dance floor or in the kitchen. There's only a few other places it could be. And as you step past one of the rooms, another partygoer steps out and they say, "Wow, that blonde was really good. She was passed out, but she still seemed right there." And they're talking about having sex with somebody in that room, and the descriptions they give seems to imply that it might have been another passed out girl.
How big are these guys?
They are your average college kid build. They're not athletes by any means. Probably right around the 5'10", almost 6 foot range, medium builds.
Okay. All right. The one who was talking?
Mm-hmm.
I grab him. Do I have to make a roll?
I don't. Yes. Roll plus violence for me, please. Do a violence.
Okay. Do a violence. I have a 10.
A 10. Okay. So basically, while you're not inflicting damage, this is going to be you grab him, but it does say with the 10, it comes at a cost. And so I get to choose something that happens. Okay. I'm just going to make a note of that. Yeah, you grab this individual, and as you grab him, you slam him up against the wall to really get his attention. And he's just like, whoa, hey, man, what the fuck?
Is there another roll I need to make, or...
No, you've got him.
Once again, it's roleplay time. Okay, great. All right. I look at the guy, and I am just like, consent first, brah, and I punch him in the face.
Yeah, I'll allow that because there is no role needed for the retributive justice of consent is important. That is a message we all need to reaffirm, sometimes with violence. Consent is important. And so, Ezekiel, you deliver this punch, and the guy stumbles back, and another one of his friends kind of looks, and he's like, fight! And like two more guys rush out of this room, leaving the door wide open, but three guys now kind of rush at you, and this is going to be that consequence. But as the three of them jump at you, please roll me plus reflex to avoid harm.
I'm going to use my reroll.
Okay.
All right. That would be a 13.
A 13 to avoid harm. You avoid the worst of it, but the GM decides if you end up in a bad spot, lose something, or potentially sustain harm. So I do think what that is you trade blows with these guys, and just kind of going off of the image I have of Ezekiel based on yourself, I imagine Zeke is a rather well-built Slavic gentleman who can hold his own and throw some punches. So you're holding these three, and you're giving as good as you're getting. So you're going to take the first layer of harm for getting punched. So you have a serious wound, and just put like got in a fight or something. So it's just an ongoing -1 penalty for having the injuries of this punching. But as you start fighting these guys, the crowd gathers around to watch, and as you deliver the final blow, you have successfully laid out 4 of these individuals, and the crowd is cheering again, and an attractive young woman brings you one of the drinks as like a victory celebration, and she like lifts your arm up triumphantly as you tower over these defeated individuals. For the professor and Norah, it does leave that door open if the two of you wanted to slip by.
While all this is going on, I don't drink it, but I take some of the drink and then spit it on everyone who's on that I've laid out.
Yeah. You spray this crimson alcoholic content directly over them in a show of dominance. What about our two?
You still put it in your mouth, though.
He was still, while holding up Norah into the room. Like, he doesn't even care about being seen.
Mm-hmm. Norah, are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay. This is, of course, one of our veils, so I will not be in super detail of it. But it is, when you guys enter, you do see that Norah is passed out on the bed. The implications of what happened are exactly that. And maybe it's Norah who has a moment to go in and cover her up or shake her awake. But her clothes are not too far from here. But it is very clear that the damage is done from her having been passed out and scooped up while the two of you were unconscious.
How would Ashlin be laying at this point? 'Cause that's kind of important.
On her back.
Yeah.
So this is largely just
Professor's-
how you guys want to handle it.
Professor's gonna look at Nora. You put her clothes back on, please. He's gonna walk back out and he's gonna kick at each last one. Like, just
Yeah, roll.
stomp.
Give me a violence roll too. Yeah, as you go out there and give a quick boot to each of them too.
He's not even saying anything. He's just kicking the hell out of them.
I'm for it. Please do more violence. Okay. Yeah. The professor steps out, and just to reaffirm the important topic of consent, the professor just starts stomping. And professor, as you start kicking each of these gentlemen, the amount of force and repetition that you put to it increases with each one. And as you get to the last party goer, you've stomped and stomped and stomped and stomped. And there's the sound of cracking, and then the wet sound of a meat tenderizer pummeling into a steak. And you just keep stomping on this person.
All right, I stop him at that point.
Mm-hmm. And you grab him, and
Yeah, Professor, I think he gets. I think
He doesn't
get
even
the
look
point
angry.
is-
He's
I think
just
he
there's-
either
he's
gets
at
the.
him.
I believe he has the point at this point. No need to add injury to injury. Not that I care, but I don't care to explain to police. Don't kill him. Though apparently you have made his legs bend the wrong way, so that is good. And at that point, I go into the room.
you
Professor's just gonna make
arrive
nobody
just
else
as
goes in.
the professor stands sentinel in front of the doorway. Zeke, you walk in as Norah is finishing getting her dressed. Norah, did you want to have a private moment with Ashlin before that happens?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Zeke will just pause you entering so that they can have that moment. Also, there was a wonderful donation from Nobunaga Odin for a donation of $69.06. There is one help for everybody and one boon for Zeke.
Sweet. Thank you, Nobunaga.
Yeah, he put it in the Great Britain pounds, and that's just how it came out in American. You know what? I'm fine with that because it was like 69.06. Okay, sure. So thank you again for the donation, though. So everybody, just make sure you notate down that you all have help and then a boon for Zeke. Take it away, Norah.
So I feel like Nora would do her best to just clean Ashlyn, and is like finding her clothes and just like, despite her earlier words, like just very gingerly dressing her, and then just like stroking her hair out of her face. Ashlyn, can you wake up?
Surprisingly, it's not hard to shake her awake once you try to get her attention.
Is she dressed yet?
Like partially. Nora's not the strongest.
I just kind of imagine that Norah just kind of put her sweater and scarf and stuff just kind of over her because she couldn't lift her up.
Probably.
Ashlin's not. She doesn't wake up easily, so when Nora's like close and kind of like trying to like shake her awake, Ashlin will take in a deep breath before she even like opens her eyes, still like kind of half drunk, half asleep. Noah, you smell so good. Oh, I miss you. And we'll kind of like grab out at whatever it is that she's smelling. And she'll give Norah, if Sam is okay with it, Ashlin's gonna give Norah a kiss.
Norah doesn't fight it.
So you pull her down.
And I give her like a kiss, and I bring her like down closer, still half asleep, half drunk, down onto the bed. And I would like Jim to use my seducer advantage on Norah.
Wait.
Absolutely. I'm not going to say no to any of this. So let me pull up your advantage so I can have it on hand.
It says...
Oh, this book.
Whenever... It's on page... Hold on, I can't read. It's on page 104.
104. I'm one page off. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and tell us what you're trying to do, and then please roll plus charisma.
So it says whenever you have an intimate you can consciously make people fall in love with you. Whenever you have an intimate moment with someone, you can roll plus charisma. I'm just going to do influence. So it's a 10. So
you do have 2 rerolls.
14. I do. Well, nothing bad happens on a 10 to 14. So I can choose 2 options usable anytime in the story. But against a PC, there are only 2 options I can do with a PC.
Well, no, it says you may only choose the following option. So you do have 2 of them.
Right now, I am going to use they feel happy in your presence, and I don't know if I gain 2 stability or they do. I think it's them that gains 2 stability.
Yeah, that's the way I'm interpreting it. It'll make them feel happier with the situation going on and gain 2 stability.
And then I will still have 1 more that I can use throughout the story.
All right, gonna bank that other one.
Yeah, for now.
All right. So, Norah, the way it sounds is, with your consent to have that kiss, it's surprisingly good. And while normally I would say that jealousy would kick in, your kind of momentary questioning of why Noah would want to be with somebody like this, that kiss kind of has you questioning your doubt of your brother's choice in women, and you probably even question your own choices in women now that you've had this moment. And it's not to make light of the situation that had happened to Ashlin, but this is all unfolding very fast, and maybe even that realization is still there. But hot damn, that was a surprising kiss.
Yeah, I mean, like, her intention was to be like, I don't know what Noah's thinking, like, I'll just, give her a kiss. And then it was like, oh, I was like, maybe Noah? No. Maybe? Yeah, very, but she'll try once again to, like, wake Ashlin up, like, feeling slightly guilty, but also just like a little giddy.
Yeah, I think at this point, Ashlyn actually wakes up and kind of, even in her haze, kind of realizes what has transpired. Do I need to roll for my disadvantage?
For your disadvantage. Yes. Because I do feel that this is one of those moments. Yeah, it's going to be your second one for sure.
Yeah,
Because once the
one I was,
realization. Yep. Yeah, do that one.
11.
You do have the rerolls.
You know what? I'll use it. I'll use a reroll.
Okay.
11.
The dice have spoken, I guess. So, as the situation and the clarity come back to you, your mind returns to things that have happened in your past, the scent and feeling of having Noah in your arms doesn't help with the realization that one, it's Norah, and two, you wake up to see that you are once again a victim of passion.
So yeah, I'll push Norah away, like kind of aggressively, and get off me, get away, close your eyes, turn around, let me get dressed. And she's like kind of like trying to like cover up like her neck and her back until like she feels like Norah is at a safe distance.
I can help you, Ashlyn. It's fine.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just please, just turn around.
Yeah, Norah will get off the bed and turn around.
And yeah, so Ashlyn like scurries off of the bed, and she doesn't even put her shirt on. She just puts her sweater on real tight and her scarf on like tighter than it was, and just like quickly like she does that quickly, and then the rest of it she does slowly. Because as she starts like pulling up her pants, like it starts. She can feel like it hurting and burning a little bit.
Yeah, and it's not even just what had transpired mere moments ago, but the lingering, lasting pain of the past burns and hurts as well. And in the silence, she gets dressed, and Norah, you hear the sound of the door open, and Zeke pokes his head in first.
Everything okay?
When the door opens, Ashlyn lets out like a squeal.
Apparently not. Clue. They need a few minutes.
See, I don't.
Let's just.
Let's get out of here. I don't think Noah's here.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm kind of over this. Let's go.
Yeah, and there is another party goer who, to the professor, kind of sidles up next to him and is like, "Hey, man, you and your friends probably need to get out of here. Somebody called the cops, and it's cool that you guys, dealt with these creeps, but we're just giving you the heads up so you can get out of here quick."
Thanks for the info, but I'm pretty sure these dudes don't want to explain to the cops how they got their injuries.
Yeah, but, we know how cops do.
Yeah. We'll be going in a few minutes. He'll knock on the door.
You'll be. Is everyone ready to leave?
Yeah, Ashlin's got her backpack on and just clutching her sweater closed and everything. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I'm done with this place.
Yeah, leave post haste.
Where are we gonna go?
Well, we've got a couple of options. One, we could call it a night. Or you go to this address and check that out. Given the condition we seem to be in, probably calling it a night would be best.
It might be best to sleep on it and start fresh in the morning. Can I have one roll from everybody as you guys are making your way out? What I'm going to need is a perception roll to observe a situation. Whoever has the highest roll, I'm going to pass something along to you.
11.
15, 11. And an 8. Ashlin, mixed in amongst your clothes as you finally get everything back into place and put on, there is a pamphlet, a leaflet for an advertisement. What is listed on there is the words 120 hours of Sodom. And it seems to be an advertisement for an upcoming event. And touching it, there is a brief flash of memory. You experience something from what you quickly realize is Noah's perception. He's being led by the hand from another individual, walking him down a dark alley into a building. And down this alley, the buildings has a side door with a little neon sign above it, and the sign flickers and flashes the word Xanadu across it.
She kind of puts it in her bag. She doesn't really look at it yet. She's not in the headspace at the moment. She'll probably just like pass the pamphlet over to the professor. I found this. It was, I don't know, it was in my bag. I don't know how it got there. I don't know if I put it there.
Professor, you get the same rush of a memory. Just as described, somebody is leading you down a dark alley, and you see this location, the sign, Xanadu, and then you see the words written on the pamphlet, the 120 hours of Sodom.
He'll pocket the pamphlet for later, like to look at later. He's focused on getting everybody out right now.
Mm-hmm. And so, with that, the four of you exit quickly. You guys are able to hail a cab and get out of there. well before the sirens and the blue lights of the New York Police Department or even Campus PD, since we said this was part of the dormitory buildings and stuff. Before the police are on the scene, you guys are making a quick exit to get out. And you see the lights behind you as you head out into the city. Where's your destination for passing the time? Do you each just choose to disperse and meet back up, or are you all going to hunker down in one location?
Norah, where are you planning to stay while you're in town?
Yeah, does Nora have a hotel room?
Nora would
Or is she
definitely
not-
have a hotel room, if because you probably planned to be there for as long as it would take, and the first thought is just to have a hotel, unless it takes longer.
I have a place I'm staying at, just a hotel down the road.
Well, if that gets to be too much, you can always stay with me at my apartment. It's not super big, but I'm sure it's got to be better than a hotel.
Um, I'm- maybe that would be a good idea. We could go over what we've learned, and two heads are better than one, right?
Right?
I mean, if you're still okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got the one bed, but my couch is pretty comfy.
Yeah, sure. Seems like we're going to be here a little bit longer than I thought I was going to be, so not having to foot that bill would be really helpful.
I mean, I know what apartments cost in the city. I can only imagine how much a hotel room is a night.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the nicest hotel, but yeah. Zeke, Professor, you guys what are you guys going to be doing? What time should we meet up tomorrow?
I'm thinking good and early. 9 o'clock?
Sounds good. He'll hand Norah and Ashlin one of his cards as he's put on his blazer. He'll pull out one of his cards and hand it to them and Zeke. If you need me at any point before then.
Yeah, I exchange numbers with everybody.
Yeah, I'll give my number and my address to the other two as well.
Numbers.
9 o'clock tomorrow.
9 o'clock sharp. So you've all handed out numbers and passed along information. Just for clarification, the two ladies are going to Ashlin's, or are we splitting up there as well?
I think we're going to Ashlin's.
Okay.
Yeah, Nora's more than welcome at Ashlin's.
All right. Does anybody need to take a moment to defrag from that scene? Are we good? Anybody want to get up, stretch, or anything like that? I know that was a sensitive subject and kind of a whole intense party.
Yeah, I think I could use a minute or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
We good with that? Scribble's just taking a minute to get up and stretch. Okay. So
Yeah.
everybody
Do we
come
want
back.
5 minutes on the timer?
Yeah, let's put
Alright.
5 minutes on the timer. We'll come back on the hour.
Yeah, good seeing everybody.
Yeah. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back. And I'll try and minimize scenes like that for sure. Just it's the kind of drawback of this scenario is heavily implied with that, but I won't have it inflicted upon all of you too much.
has been lost. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Do you remain steadfast, or do you give in to temptation?
Hi, everyone. Most of us are back. Zeke should be here in just... Oh, nope, he's there. A sudden Zeke appears. So this is us. We're back. So everybody had dispersed for the evening. Our two ladies heading to Ashlin's to rest and recover for the night, and the professor and Zeke going back to their own respective places. As you all had split up, the plan is to meet back tomorrow at 9 a.m. But we will take a look at Zeke first as he arrives in his residence. Zeke, first and foremost, what does your home look like?
He lives in an apartment that's not too far away from the campus, but is certainly not in one of the better parts of town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is a somewhat small apartment, 1 bedroom. It's
Small 1 bedroom.
Yeah, small 1 bedroom, decorated like some sort of like neon nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where he hangs his hat.
And Zeke, you still have possession of Noah's journal. Did you want to take any time to look at that further now that you're away from sisterly and girlfriend eyes?
Yeah, yes, I would.
Just on the journal tabs, so up at the top right, it's the one that looks like the newspaper. If you click that, it'll open up. And this is on Roll20, of course.
This is on Roll
Yeah.
D20?
Yep. If it's too much to get to that, I can pick a random journal page for you to read, just to kind of get this going.
Okay. Do you I actually don't. The problem has been that I don't actually see the game.
Oh, you probably didn't join it. There should be a Roll20 link somewhere. I think I might be able to just throw an invite at you too. Hold on.
Okay.
Somebody beat me to it. Nope, that's a different beep. Okay. Last page. Oh, it only shows the 1 page. I may not have the ability to invite you to it.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna just pick a journal entry and read it though. So you crack open towards one of the last pages of the journal. Actually, the last page of the journal that you end up seeing. There's no indication of a date, but it's still Noah's handwriting, although it seems a little more frantic, shaky. And it reads, "I screamed and screamed and screamed when my body was being torn apart. The nurse kept telling me to push, and I did. With all that was left of me, I did. A machine beeped next to my ear, inducing a soothing trance. Beep, beep, beep. Your body is your prison, I heard it whisper. Escape now."
What is the context of this? Is this like a piece of fiction? Is it a dream he had? What's the...
Do you want to flip back to another page?
Yeah.
All right. The entry before that one reads, "The rocking motion reminds me of a time before everything. I float, succumbing to it. My eyes open and I drift blissfully through the chaos of creation. My mind buzzes, fusing with the infinite oneness that surrounds me. The man on top of me grunts and the movement stops. I'm back in the cheap hotel and his seed drips down my thighs." Would you like to read back further?
Yes.
"The plastic bag has been over my head for several minutes now, and the panic overtakes me. But I am tied to the chair with duct tape. I am sure death is coming, but then I see it. Through the condensation and in my blurred vision, I see another world, another existence, and I let myself drift into that experience." Do you want to keep reading?
Yeah.
"Shit. I think I may have caught something after all. I've been throwing up, but only this weird black bile comes out. It sticks to my throat, and I keep wanting to swallow, but I can't. It makes me feel so full, and I can't stop thinking about going back." Would you like to read on?
Yes.
"It's weird to find somebody else's toy stash. Makes you wonder what they're into, even if you'd rather not think about it. I remember looking at that spiked toy in awkward awe. It reminded me of an Iron Maiden, but with the sharp bits on the outside. I didn't really want to, but I picked it up. I examined it close, and it made me giddy, like it was promising me something. I shouldn't have took it, but I did. Gross, I know. But it's mine now, and that's none of your fucking business." Would you like to read on? Oh, sorry, go
Is
ahead.
he describing something that we found among his things?
I feel like this would have been in there. It wasn't in the initial description, but if you think back, because nobody really looked over his toys in great detail, but you may recall having seen this in the briefcase.
Okay.
There were a few shocking things in that briefcase.
Is anything, like, dated?
No. But it seems to be matching that trend of the weirdness that has been happening from that month onward.
Okay.
Would you like to read on?
No, I think I got the gist of it at this point.
Got the gist of it? Okay.
Not so much disturbed so much as, yeah, we seem to be reading past the point that we're going to find anything useful. However, you know what the fuck? No, let's do it one more time.
One more. Okay. "Everything smells of saliva and sweat. I wet my parched lips and become aware of the salty taste in my mouth. Countless hands and tongues caress my skin, not sparing even the most private parts. I vaguely recall I had a life once, school, job, family with a question mark. A jolt of pleasure shoots through my body. Ah, it must have all been a dream."
Okay. At that point, I'll stop. This is getting kind of pedestrian. At some point during the evening, I will, particularly after there is that moment where he starts talking about the other world, where I look at it and I'm like, oh no. And then I will use healing hands on myself.
Gotta just cleanse all of that out. So go ahead and roll me for your special ability there.
That would be, I got an 11.
An 11, and I'm going to pull your sheet up since I sent it to you. So I have it on my end. Healing hands. Oh. Nope, you're not the twin anymore. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up from over here. The classmate. There we go. Nope. Roll. I just pulled up the wrong thing. There we go. Healing hands. And what'd you say you got?
An 11.
Okay. So between 11 and 14, the injury is stabilized.
Now, what does that mean?
I do believe it means you're not going to take the ongoing damage anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
If you had your there's the boxes there with the stabilized ticks, so you would just have the stabilized ticked so that I won't penalize you anymore for it. But I think you could only take
the -1.
Yeah, and so I think you can only take so many injuries before it progresses, because your wounds will still catch up to you. You're just not taking any immediate harmful effect.
Yeah, that's how I'm reading it. Also, one of the things that I want to clarify, this is like a spell, isn't it?
Yeah, you have full on healing hands. In another life, Zeke could have been a paladin, but we all know that he's not that great a guy.
Oh, that's the power of the healing hands is not gifted only to the righteous.
Yeah. And honestly, I think you can interpret how this works, like through meditation or some kind of God, I had it and then I lost it. But you could put your own spin on why he has this ability to heal without medicine or bandages, but it is very much mechanics wise, it is a mechanical reason that these injuries can heal.
Yeah, he can just re-knit flesh. It just does it. You watch the little tendrils of the injury knit themselves back together, like there's an invisible spider bringing in a web, knitting a web between the open parts of the wound.
That nasty cut to your lip from where that guy got a lucky punch in has sealed back up, and it does leave a small scab where it won't scar up, but that healing scab is there and very present, but it is very much in a much better condition from where it is. The swelling has gone down. The pain is not there. But the remnant of the injury will linger until it's picked off.
Yeah, and at some point during the night, Zeke is going to say to himself while looking at the journal, just what I was afraid of.
And as he says that, Zeke, your phone rings, and there is an unknown number. And you know that there are specific people that call you, and they always call with an unknown number.
What?
Ezekiel. What is the status on the acquisition?
Depends on how choosy you are.
it has come to our attention that the target is carrying something special. Whether you are able to acquire them or what is inside of them. If he is not retrievable, make sure that which grows within him is brought to us. We will pay double.
If I can't bring you Noah, then I definitely know several others. Don't worry, you'll get someone.
The others are not important. Bring us Noah, or what has grown within him. It is important, Ezekiel.
Well then, I'm going to need a little bit more. I might need a little bit more assistance. Because what is growing within Noah might be taking him somewhere where it is very difficult to reach. Even for me.
Tell us what you require.
All right. And I feel like that's a good place to like fade out and fill that detail in later.
Yeah, you can message me that as that conversation clearly pans away for dramatic effect. We will cut to the professor. Professor, what does your home look like when you arrive?
It's a 2-story house. Lived in a good bit from the campus that he's had for a while. He walks in and puts a blazer he reacquired on a random chair and sits in another chair by a table and just kind of plops himself down. He'll grab a deck of cards sitting on the table and he'll just start shuffling the deck as he just goes over what happened. And just gets lost in shuffling.
Mm-hmm. And you're shuffling the cards and the images of the party replay, specifically what pertains just to you. The dance out on the floor, the mysterious Japanese woman, the feeling of the skull underneath your shoe as you brought your foot down before Ezekiel stopped you. You know that one more well-deserved boot stomp could have ended that kid's life. You look down at the cards and you see that it's the oh goodness, I just lost which one it was. It is a suit with the king, specifically the one suit where the king is holding the swords, and they call it the Suicide Kings because it looks like they're stabbing themselves. That's the card that pops up at the top of your hand. You look at it for a moment, and then you hear a voice again. King of Hearts. So it's the King of Hearts. And the voice once more comes to the back of your ear. Delvin. Delvin. Come to bed,
Yes.
Delvin. You've had a long day.
In a bit.
What's
He
on
doesn't
your
even know who
mind?
was telling this to.
That's fine. Delvin can talk to himself. But
Yeah.
she says, "What's on your mind, Delvin?"
Not honestly sure. It's just on the tip of my thoughts, but I can't see it.
Hmm. Dreams often provide clarity, Delvin. Come see me.
You and I both know they can also provide discomfort.
Is that so unwanted? The ability to feel?
You have a point. And Delvin will get up from the chair, still shuffling the deck, and make his way to his room.
And as you do... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying he just goes up to his room.
And the professor, you crawl into bed at the coaxing of this voice, the woman always just off the peripheral of your vision. You drift to sleep, and I'm going to have a roll here just to see how fun I can make this dream for you. Please roll me a plus soul.
Okay. Yeah, 0 for soul.
All right.
Wait, what?
Oh, you put D20s instead of 10s. Eleven.
11.
All right. Let's see here. Gotcha. Cool. As you drift to sleep, the dream you have is as follows. You see a small Mexican hamlet with houses that are built with white limed walls. In the distance, you can hear an infant crying, and the living heat seems to be setting everything to a quiver. The skies and stars are fanciful and impressionistic, like a painting of Van Gogh. Here and there, as you walk, the buildings become smudged. You can almost smell the oil paint and turpentine. Every step you take causes the world to corrode and discharge, and everything seems to be turning rancid in the blazing sun. Uncontrollably, you feel yourself retch, and your stomach's contents smear the colors even further. And at last you arrive at a little cantina where its interior is further in a state of decay. And you hear the crying has grown louder, and infants wail for attention. And as you feel yourself almost sink into the gas-bloated floors, you see that the walls have closed in and the door is gone. And on a table, there waits a revolver. Within the revolver's cylindrical chamber is a single bullet, and the dream has no other exit. There's a quick bang, and you awaken to the sound of your alarm.
He gets up slowly to his alarm and calmly turns it off. And that's that discomfort part I was talking about.
We pan back to the night before as Ashlin opens the door to her apartment. Norah, you notice that this door seems odd. There is a coloration that doesn't match the other doors in this apartment complex. Its color seems newer, fresh. The hinges that hold the door have a slight warp to them, and there's strange scraping around the frame. There's even a strange indent on the wall opposite of the door, but Ashlyn doesn't seem to pay any of that mind, besides gently tapping on the door before unlocking it to make sure that it's staying in place. When the two of you step in, what does the apartment look like?
So when you walk in, there's just a small hallway before it opens up to an open floor plan, like a small kitchenette. Then past that is a very cozy looking living room. None of the furniture matches, but it all looks very comfortable. And then there's a small balcony with French doors just past that. It's all hardwood floors, but there are rugs in odd places that don't really match, like they were just like hastily put there. Yeah, and there's a very large couch that looks very comfortable. It's almost like a futon, but it's not a futon. And there are plants everywhere. Very bohemian.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another hallway off of the living room with the bathroom and a bedroom.
Ashlyn, when you enter, you notice that the nearest potted plant has taken on a good deal of brown into its leaves. It wasn't brown when you left this morning. It was green and vibrant, just like all the plants. You take perfect care of your plants, and now there seems to be a wilting.
That's odd. Plants don't die that fast. I'll go over and take a closer look at it.
Mm-hmm. I would take a roll from you, please. If you would be so kind, please give me a perception roll. Plus your perception.
Probably
12.
water your plants more.
I did. I thought I did this morning. It was green when I left. We only left a few hours ago, right?
You are free to ask. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not really a plant person, but clearly you did something wrong.
Maybe my plant got a hold of one of those drinks from that party.
Weird.
Oh, you said I can ask.
Yeah, you get a question to ask. What is my best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me? What seems strange about this?
Yeah, definitely that last one. What seems strange about this?
What seems strange about this? What seems strange about your plants suddenly wilting is it seems to be connected to the strangeness and decay that has been increasingly prevalent everywhere you go. And while you may not have noticed all of it throughout the day, you have seen strange things from people and the surroundings that don't seem to add up. And what's more, it's only been happening since Norah showed up.
Coincidence.
It kind of reminds me of those people I saw in the lobby at the dorm room. They looked fine one minute, and then the next they looked, I don't know, like they were decaying or sickly.
I mean, those lights in the dorm, the fluorescent bulbs, they don't do good things to your complexion. Plus, if all you're eating is ramen and studying, makes sense that they wouldn't look the best.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's just something off about it. I didn't look for very long because we were kind of had things to do.
Yeah, kind of a big thing. We need to find my brother, and I feel like we're not. I don't even know what is happening anymore.
We had that pamphlet for that Xanadu place. I mean, we have that address as well. So that's a good place to start. If he was having things sent there, there must be a place he frequents.
Yeah, I mean, why did he leave you?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, things were going fine until he disappeared and just I couldn't find him.
I don't know. We should. This just doesn't sound like Noah, and I don't know.
All these things that party. That's I've been to parties with him, and those aren't the kind of parties we go to.
I don't know. I mean, I could understand if he had gotten bored with you, but he knows how to break up with girls. He's done it before.
I mean, that's better than what he did, I guess. Cheating on me behind my back. I mean, if that's doesn't seem like him.
I don't know. We should probably just go to
seems
sleep.
The kind of. Ashlin will go to a closet off the hallway across from the bathroom and pull out a blanket and pillow and set him on the couch for her. I'm gonna go take a shower. You're welcome to one. The bathroom is the first door on the right.
You go first.
Ashlin's gonna go take a shower and wash the night off of herself.
Alrighty. The sound of the shower starts up, and that gives Norah an opportunity to start looking around. Where does Norah go first?
I mean, she's gonna quickly head to Ashlin's room because she assumes she doesn't have a lot of time for the shower, so treasure trove first. So she'll like walk slowly past the bathroom door and then as quietly as she can open her bedroom, and just like quickly look around, and like if there's a nightstand, she's gonna pull open drawers and just like look in all those typical places that people leave things, trying to get dirt on Ashlin.
Yeah. So let's have a roll from you, and I'm just trying to see if there's anything fun I can add to help with this. Oh, you do have keen eye. Please roll me and observe the situation.
Yes. Let's observe it. That's just, yeah, perception. Okay.
An 11?
Uh-oh.
But you do have that reroll.
Yeah, let's do it. Use the rerolls. Haha!
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. That is what I was hoping for. So do make a note that with Keen Eye, you do have those 2 extra questions that you can ask on your sheet there. And then you also have observe the situation. The questions I went over before. What is my best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me? And what seems strange about this? You have 2 questions on the 15 plus.
Cool. And I could use one
and when
of the
you act on the
questions?
answers, it's a +1. Yes. The in addition to the ones normally acquired, you can choose from these as well.
Yeah, so she would definitely ask like, what weakness do they have that I could use to my advantage?
Mm-hmm. Dido, you are free to fill that answer in. From her searching your room.
So, probably the only thing you would find in her room that might be a weakness that you could use to your advantage is you notice one of the oddly placed rugs. There is a stain on the floor. And it's a blood stain.
The plot thickens.
Ooh. Okay, she like takes note of that. Okay, one other question. It's gonna be hard. Let's see. What were the questions again, Linda?
From the main list, from your questions or the main list?
The main list.
Okay. What is my best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can you use to your advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me? And what seems strange about this?
What is being hidden from me?
Dido, is there anything being hidden from her?
Yeah. At the foot of her bed, you'll find the backpack she's been wearing all day. So if you open up that bad boy, which I'm sure Norah would, there is a particular item in there, and it is a black whip. And when you pull it out, it is bloodstained, and there's still flesh hanging off of it in different parts.
She will like quickly shove that back in the backpack, zip it up, and like arrange it how it was. Like frowning before she like leaves the room to like go back to the living room, guessing that Ashlin's showers probably coming to a close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like clearly confused and makes a quick note in her phone about the whip and about the blood stain on the carpet that she'll like put a password protection on. But she'll just sit down and wait.
And you get comfortable. Ashlyn, how long do you take showers for?
Well, she probably wants to conserve water, so she's probably only like in there for not that long, because washing hurts and burns, and she can't reach everything. Especially on her back and the back of her arms. And so she probably just does a real quick rinse and wash before she gets out.
Okay. And I need to do something fun for you before we close out. So what can I do to Ashlyn that I haven't already done today? That's the best way to put that, right?
Right?
I haven't already done to her. Let's see. Where's the girlfriend? Let's open your sheet back up. Don't know why I
Girlfriend's
closed
in
it.
the shower.
Girlfriend's in the shower. Do I have anything fun for you that I can use? I already rolled for that first disadvantage. Oh, yeah. Let's do your other one. Give me another roll
Okay.
plus 0.
Yeah.
Just because you now have Norah all to yourself in your apartment.
15.
15.
Unfortunately.
The little devil on your shoulder, of course, says, "You've got her right where you want her, and this would be the perfect opportunity to make something happen. You could just tell the others she had gone back to her hotel, and that would be the end of it." And then the little angel appears and is like, "But you need her to find Noah. Don't forget that she's useful to us for at least a little bit longer. Don't do anything reckless just yet. We'll have our time." And you kind of nod and decide that the little angel is right. There's value in waiting. No reason to be hasty. And so you finish your shower. Oh, go ahead.
Ashlyn gets a smile on her face and is like, "Oh, I have plans for her."
Yeah. And the angel and the little devil versions of Ashlyn both nod to each other, and then they poof out of existence. And your shower ends after you've washed the day away, quite literally. And then you exit the shower. Norah is seated innocently on the couch where you left her.
It's all yours. There should be more than enough hot water. And
Yeah,
she kind of backs away. Like she's got her towel around her, like just around like normally. And she's like backing, she's making sure that her front is to Norah the whole time. And she's backing up towards her room.
Mm-hmm.
Ashlyn,
She's
are
been
you
really
okay?
keeping her back to you.
Well, keeping her back away from me.
Her back away from you, yes. She's been focused on keeping her back from you.
It's been an interesting day. I'm gonna hit the hay.
Yeah. Do you have any spare clothes?
Sure.
Probably around
Yeah,
the same size.
I'll bring them to you. I mean, you're a little bustier than I am. But I think I have something that'll fit.
Nora's just smiling. Yeah. I'll just hop in the shower and you could just set it on the counter.
I'm still listening. I just need to kill something on my wall. Hold on. Disregard.
Yeah, I'll just leave them on the toilet seat for you.
Thanks.
So back into her room.
And she backs into the room.
And she backs into her room.
So suspicious.
Nothing suspicious about it.
Nora's gonna go into the bathroom. She's gonna turn the shower on and then leave the bathroom and just open Ashlin's door very quickly. Hey, Ashlin, I just forgot to mention to see if she could catch her back. If she's putting clothes on or something.
Yeah, you would probably see her back. So what you see are gashes upon gashes just up her back. Some of them are healed, but some of them are still open, not quite fully healed. They go up the back of her upper arms, and there are a couple that go up her neck and over her shoulders a little bit. And she's just riddled with them.
So she's very loudly had bursted into the room, hey Ashlin, I forgot to ask for holy shit. Just trails out. Do you need help?
Ashlyn turns and grabs for the bag that's on the foot of her bed. What do you need?
What are you doing? Do you need help?
I am quite capable of getting dressed. Thank you.
Yeah,
Don't you knock? You just walk in on people when they're naked and they've invited you into their home?
Well, I mean, I thought we were close. And
I have a question. I have a question. Would this be her opposing me?
Oh.
I would say yes, because this was a very deliberate, and she might be trying to play it down, but you could interpret it that way if you wish.
So yeah, I'm gonna use my last seducer hold to make them feel bad.
All right.
Just walking in, and she needs to roll a keep it together.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Please roll me. Keep it together, and keep in mind your stabilities and stuff. I think they roll automatically, so that's not really it.
Yeah.
But she's gonna make you feel bad. She's gonna tweak that emotional string.
Oh, I already feel bad. Keep it together. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Keep it together with a 15 is good. 15 plus. You grit your teeth and stay the course. So she puts the guilt on, and while you might feel bad about it, it's not enough for her to be able to emotionally sway you in the direction she wants. So no bad effects.
Who did this to you, Ashlin?
Do you really want to know?
I mean, if I could help you.
I don't think you can help me. Not right now. I don't think you want to know who did this to me.
The wounds looked recent, though, right?
But not
Probably
fresh.
about 4. They're recent, but not fresh.
Laura just turns around, closes the door, and heads to the shower. But in the shower, she's like, no, I wouldn't do something like that. I know he wouldn't do something like that. I wouldn't do something like that, so he wouldn't do something like that. And she's just like, not even washing herself, just like soaking in the water.
All right. We're just a little early, but I think this is a good place to wrap up without having to jump into Act 2 too hard. And I think we definitely traumatized each and every person perfectly this episode in more ways than one. And we got to explore a little bit of everyone's dark side, which is great. And so, aside from the professor waking up early, just for the fun of his dream, everybody else heads to bed after their various news. Norah will do your dream next week when we come in fresh. And that's going to be it for us. So going clockwise this time, starting with scribbles and working our way.
Oh.
Whoa, flipped it.
I'm like,
All right.
no, I will not.
Not starting
I
with scribbles. The overlay has spoken. Starting with Zeke, and we'll work around. I don't know if that's their way of saying they want to be last, and I'll just counter it again. I don't know. But we'll start with Zeke, and I'll go counterclockwise so that Scribbles is last, because now I've decided. So it'll be Zeke, Sphinx, Dido, and then Scribbles. But just do your outros. Tell us where we can find you if you're anywhere else, and we'll also add in. Tell us one thing you really liked about the session tonight.
Well, I think my favorite part of the session is realizing, oh, I guess Ashlin might not have been taken advantage of after all. Might have been some plot going on there.
What if she set Zeke up the whole time?
Yeah, I will admit, I was like, oh, it's just wounds? I thought, black ooze and tentacles were gonna, come out of her back, and we were gonna see, Noah attached to her back like a parasitic twin, like Quado.
He's been there the whole time.
Yeah. I was just
All I had to do was be a dog chasing its tail.
yeah.
I like it.
He has always been with me. Ah!
I'm writing these notes down for unrelated reasons. Don't worry. And where can we find you the rest of the week?
You can find me on Twitch at Count_Jacula, at Twitter at JackSatanWave, which is right there. And of course, you can find me also on Instagram at SatanicJacula. And I would love to see you at the Twitch streams every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk about all sorts of weird and groovy things like bodily mutilation, people's descents into depravity, and what we liked about Marvel shows that week. It runs the gamut.
All right. Just going to squeeze in real quick. Hoping I'm pronouncing this right. Grammy Crackers It sounds right. Graham Crackers, Grammy Crackers, thank you for the raid. Just in time for us to be doing our outros, but we still appreciate you. Big hearts going out for you and your raiders. But let's jump right on over to Sphinx. Favorite thing from the episode, and then where can we find you?
I think my favorite thing from the episode was the dynamic between Ash and Norah. How outwardly suspicious they were of Zeke, but they were inwardly more suspicious of each other. And watching that play out. And
should get the eyed-wise shut mask and you know something.
I'm Sphinx are all on Twitter. I usually just lurk in people's streams, but this weekend I'm gonna be in 2 games. One of them tomorrow playing City of Mists on Emerald City GMG at 2 Central, and on Sunday playing Call of Cthulhu game Clockwork Vines on Honey and Dice's channel at 7 Central.
Nice. I'll make a note of those. I'm all about some Call of Cthulhu games. All right. And then speaking of tentacles, right on down to Dido. Favorite scene, and then where can we find you?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the Zeke and the professor just beating the crap out of those guys. Like, Zeke took care of him, and then the professor comes in and is like, nope, gotta finish him. That was my favorite. I mean, I can't say my stuff was my favorite. That's not fair.
I mean, you could, but yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Dido11, and I also am on Swindler's Den on Monday nights. That's Twitch, Swindler's Den on Mondays and Wednesdays, where I do a homebrew, and we are doing Rime of the Frost Maiden. We're about to die to a moose, so that'll be fun.
Dire moose?
And then on Saturdays, we don't know. It's a big white moose, and I'm a sorcerer, and I'm alone in front of it, so I'm gonna die.
Oh dear.
And then Saturdays, you can catch me with Ren again on Party White Beans.
Yep. Then she can't avoid it any longer. Right on over to Scribbles. Favorite thing? Where can we find you?
I mean, what everyone else mentioned, and then the scene with the professor, just like that mystery that has been building, and I'm like so into what is happening with him. But yeah, and then you described it perfectly, Rindis, with just like the scene change of like the whispers and like the Japanese like influences. So I think that was my favorite part. Other than that, you can find me as Scribbling Penny or Scribbles all over the internet. I have a show on Sundays that I'm part of, an Age of Ashes Pathfinder 2e campaign, which will be on hold this week. Other than that, just make sure you check out the schedule for Weave the Tale. We will be premiering Fallout tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. There will be some giveaways happening, maybe not on that episode, but maybe on a future episode. I don't know, it's up in the air, but you got to tune in if you want to find out how that is going to happen. And then next week we will also be premiering Dragon Age on Weave the Tale as well. So all the normal shows and then 2 new shows are going to be thrown into the mix. So super excited for all that. But yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm really hyped for that Fallout game. I've been eyeing the Modifius one for a long time too.
Is it based on the Bethesda game or?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the Bethesda licensed version, because there have been several iterations of the Fallout pen and paper, and every time one comes out, Bethesda is like, "We didn't say you could do that. And they're like, okay, it's dead. And so this is them finally putting one out for official content.
Well, I remember, I know that like one of the things that inspired the original Fallout back when it was like a top-down peripheral looking thing, you know, was actually one of the major influences was apparently the game Deadlands Hell on Earth.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. And
which I always thought was, so it's kind of neat to have them like come around and do a tabletop game of their own.
Yeah, and the old Fallouts are also based on the GURPS system, so dating myself there with that reference. But yeah, the whole game was built on the GURPS system, and that's why the rolls in Fallout 1 and 2 can be really wonky. But to wrap us up, guys, y'all were my favorite scenes. All of this, it was great. I had wonderful pleasure pulling out your dark secrets to show them to our wonderful audience who stuck around for the entire show. You all may not necessarily know what is wrong with the others, but at least the players know that nobody is innocent in this. Everybody has some darkness under the surface, and we've got 4 more episodes to see just how long you all can go before the betrayals actually happen. Although we did have one betrayal there at the end, but you could talk it away, you know, and I'll leave it up to you all to decide which one really was the betrayal. Most days of the week, you can catch me at my channel and on Twitter at PartyWipeGames. I also play on Valdrion's channel on Thursdays, where we play a Blades in the Dark reskin of a fantasy western, where I play a smooth-talking prostitute character who sleeps her way through most of the problems and charms her way out of everything else. I'm also here. I'm going to be starting a game before this one on Nomedic's channel. It will be a Kids on Brooms Roll20 Spotlight, so I'm super excited about that. We also are going to be doing a duo campaign of another game coming up. There's going to be a duo game because the title just escaped me right at this moment. In the works, we'll figure out a day for that where Nomedic and I are playing another game together. Saturdays, Dido and I are on our channel, Party Life Games, playing a new 5th edition game. We're giving the DM range to one of our long-term players to have a chance at trying their hand at DMing, so we're excited for that. Sundays, we play Weird World Wars 2, which is a Savage Worlds game where we are a resistance movement against fantasy dark elven fascists, and that's fun because our resistance is called Hydra, so it's a real flip of the script there, and I do get to yell Hell Hydra a lot, and it's great. Mondays, nothing going on. Tuesdays on Party Wipe, we play Vampire the Masquerade, where I am the storyteller. They had just gotten done beating up a Nosferatu that controlled rats, and they gave him the nickname Rat Daddy because he had no arms or legs, and he used the rats as locomotion to carry him everywhere. And so they beat up a paraplegic riding rats. So take that as you will. World of Darkness is a weird game. And that's pretty much it for me and us. And if there's anything else I need to plug, of course, check out the other games on Weave the Tale. Tachyon Squadron, I'm going to hype them up forever because I love watching that game. They have a great GM. And the Fallout game we already gushed about. There is also our wonderful people at... I lost it. Nope. There it is. Throat Grinding Coffee, the Black LGBT-owned coffee business. I have several bags of their coffee, and it is delicious, and I highly recommend it. We also have Helmgast, who is the sponsor for this game. Evil Hat Productions for the Tachyon Squadron, as mentioned, and Tin Star was the one I was looking for Relics, the Game of Angels. that had been premiering earlier this week as well. And that's a great game. You guys should check it out. I don't have anything else. Is there anything else we need to cover before we exit?
Have a good night.
Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.